Before Jaylen Brown was traded, he shared some revealing thoughts about Brad Stevens and the way the Celtics handled a crucial stage of his development. When Brown entered the league, he averaged just over 6 points per game, then made a noticeable jump in his second season. The real turning point came during his third year, when Hayward was working his way back from his devastating injury. Instead of keeping Brown in the starting lineup, Boston moved him back to the bench, and that decision sparked plenty of backlash. A lot of Celtics fans pushed back because they believed Brown had earned that role with the progress he was making on both ends of the floor. Looking back, it's easy to understand why. Once Hayward was eventually traded, Brown's production exploded, and he followed it up by averaging around 20 points per game the next season. That dip during his third year wasn't viewed by everyone as a step backward in talent. Many connected it to Brad Stevens' commitment to Hayward. The relationship between Stevens and Hayward went back to their successful run together at Butler, where Hayward and Shelvin Mack helped carry the program to the national championship game. Hayward's unforgettable near-game-winning shot against Duke also became one of the defining moments that helped establish Brad Stevens as one of basketball's brightest young coaching minds. Because of that history, many believe Stevens remained especially loyal to Hayward after he arrived from Utah, even if it came at the expense of Jaylen Brown's development. Now let's take a closer look at what Jaylen Brown had to say about that period, along with Brad Stevens' own comments regarding the trade.
I will say there was definitely a message being sent, and that message was received. I wasn't thrilled with the amount of respect that was showed during this process. You know, I think there was a bit of a lack of respect. I think it was fine at one point, and then out of nowhere, things just kind of went left. You know, I think Brad is probably getting a lot of the criticism. I wasn't thrilled the way he facilitated some of the conversations, but I definitely think there's more to it. Chat, there's definitely more to it. I just wish that the more to it could have been explained to me, because if the more to it was explained, I think I would have understood. I thought I earned respect enough to get that explanation, but hey, obviously I was wrong.
I lost sleep over the fan part of this. I get it. Like, there's a bunch of 7 jerseys around. I'm pretty sure I bought a couple.
Jaylen said that he felt disrespected by this trade process and he wished more had been explained to him. I know you're talking about trying to be as upfront and communicative with him as possible throughout this, but do you wish at all that either you handled this process differently or there was anything on your side that was not conveyed to him that you wish you had in hindsight?
I think I already answered that earlier with Jay. But I would just say, I'll just repeat that, I'm hopeful that we can sit down and talk about that at some point. But I'm sorry that he feels that way.
During his conversation with Andre Iguodala, Jaylen Brown opened up about parts of his relationship with Brad Stevens, and that wasn't the only interesting takeaway. A lot of people also overlook the fact that Brown serves as a vice president of the NBPA, putting him in an influential position within the Players Association. Because of that role, he's involved in key discussions and has chosen to use his voice to advocate for players during those meetings. The view being expressed is that not everyone appreciates how outspoken he's been in that capacity. That's why the message is that players should support Jaylen Brown and stand behind him while he continues representing their interests.
I'm gonna show the people. I didn't care about the front office. Once you get the people talking about it, the front office is gonna start making decisions.
Yeah.
Because they got pressure on it. Like, I remember the Boston Celtics. We remember the year we came back. Gordon came back. Kyrie came back after the year that we took the team almost to the finals in 2018. Then we come back to the next year. Gordon and Kyrie are now back on that team, and so now we got this loaded team with all this talent. They decided to move me to the bench, which was understandable. You got guys, you making $30 million or whatever, but as a 20-year-old kid who is extremely talented, that slowed down my development. So in that moment, like, how do I get back to where I want to get back to? 'Cause now I'm getting criticized for not working on my game.
Right.
Now I'm getting criticized for not being ready for my opportunities. In reality, it was we just had a stacked deck, and there was too much responsibility for, everyone to equally share. So what I did was like, how do you win over the fans, right? Anytime I'm on the floor, I'm the best defender on the floor, and then I'm creating highlights where I'm like, if I get a fast break, if you look at that year, I'm windmilling it. If I get a fast break, I'm down here with it. So now they start to be like, why isn't this kid playing more? Right? And why isn't he playing more consistently? And they start asking those questions. And in Boston, what ended up happening, this is like a forgotten moment in time, but they ended up having a petition, like the fans sent a petition, like put Jaylen back in the starting lineup.
Wow.
And that eventually made the Celtics put me back in the starting lineup. Not because I feel like they wanted to. I think Brad preferred Gordon. One, he was making more money. Two, he was coming back off injury. Also the Butler. So
keep it at Butler.
you know what I'm saying? They gave Gordon every chance offensively that he absolutely could. And like they felt like he deserved it because he made that big commitment to come from Utah and from being an all-star to now, and it just didn't work out.
One thing that caught a lot of attention recently was a viral clip of an NBA player explaining how he eventually realized that the higher paid player wasn't always more talented, but he was the one the organization was committed to showcasing. The point was simple. If one player is making around $600,000 while another is earning $15 or $20 million a year, the team is almost always going to give the bigger investment more minutes. It isn't only about talent. Teams also don't want to give a lower-paid player so much exposure that another franchise signs him to a bigger deal and turns him into future competition. That's why situations like this happen across the NBA, where certain players end up with fewer opportunities than fans believe they deserve. The argument here isn't that Jaylen Brown was hidden away, but that this kind of dynamic is very real throughout the league. In Brown's case, the belief is that Brad Stevens remained loyal to Gordon Hayward because of everything they accomplished together at Butler. Hayward and Shelvin Mack helped elevate Butler's program, including deep NCAA tournament runs that ended against Duke and Kemba Walker's UConn, and those years played a major role in establishing Stevens' reputation before he eventually landed in Boston. From that perspective, Brown became the player who paid the price for that loyalty. Around that same period, Kyrie Irving was looking to leave Cleveland and publicly discussed his situation, while Hayward was also dealing with multiple leg injuries before later ending up in Charlotte. According to this view, Brown's third NBA season was the point where his development stalled because opportunities that could have gone to him instead went to Hayward. That stretch also became the period when Jason Tatum started emerging as the face of the franchise. Looking back, the criticism is that Brad Stevens allowed his loyalty to Hayward to slow Brown's development until Celtics fans pushed back and demanded Brown return to a bigger role. Once that happened, Brown showed exactly what he was capable of, and many now point to his later leadership in helping Boston win another championship as proof that giving him those opportunities ultimately paid off. No matter how you look at it, Jaylen Brown's place in Celtics history is already secure. But his story also highlights something that happens around the NBA more often than people realize. The idea of giving extra opportunities to certain players isn't unique to Brad Stevens. According to this perspective, though, Stevens had an even stronger reason to keep pushing Gordon Hayward because of the relationship and history they shared from their Butler days. If Hayward had performed well enough, the belief is that Stevens would have continued giving him every opportunity, even ahead of other players. It just happened that Hayward and Jaylen Brown were competing for the same position. Eventually, Kyrie Irving left Cleveland, Hayward was traded to Charlotte, and Brown finally got the runway to become the player many believed he could be. From there, the rest of his career with the Celtics speaks for itself. The bigger lesson is that opportunity and situation can matter just as much as talent. A player's success often depends on whether the coaching staff truly believes in them and puts them in a position to showcase their strengths. Sometimes there are other factors behind the scenes that influence those decisions, and those choices can directly affect the player's role, development, and even future earnings. Not every young player gets the chance to force the issue the way Jaylen Brown eventually did. Some players have the talent, but they never receive enough consistent opportunities because organizations are committed to developing someone else instead. That's why fit, timing, and trust can end up shaping careers just as much as raw ability. Let me know where you stand on it in the comments, and if you enjoyed the discussion, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.